Well, do you feel the energy? Do you feel the dragon energy? Do you feel the dragon energy in the air? Oh my God. What is the media going to do? What are they going to do now? Just feel the energy. Just be. That's the message I think that a lot of people are losing today in our society. Just be you. That's what energy is. You're just being. You're not judging. So you can feel it when you're in touch with the universe. A lot of people made fun of me. A lot of people made fun of me. I'll take those apologies now. If all the people who want to apologize for when I said the energy was shifting, when I said something really big was coming, and people laughed, they mocked me as usual, and I said, no, you can feel it. Something big is going to happen, and people go, well, you don't know anything. Did I know that it was going to be Kanye? No, I didn't. That is the thing about this. The key about energy is you don't always know what. You don't know specifically what is going to happen. But you do know that something big, could we all agree that this is cataclysmic? Well, not cataclysmic, that has like a negative connotation. Can we all agree that this picture is going to break the internet? Can we all just sort of agree on that? So we can get like a common ground, right? A common ground. Do we all agree that this picture is the most significant picture of the internet this year? I would say we can all agree about that. So I knew something was coming. I didn't know that it would be Kanye, right? I didn't know that Kanye was going to throw the OK sign, which, remember that was, yeah, he clearly is.
Is that him?
The guy's hand is. Okay, the other guy's hand is. Yeah, so Kanye is not, but the other guy's throwing the OK sign. Good point. Good correction, Shauna. So I didn't know it was going to be Kanye, but I could feel, Shauna will tell you, she was like, babe, you're just off lately. The past 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, she's like, you just feel a little bit off. What's going on? And I just said I could just feel a rift in the energy, something, big happening in the energy. And I don't know what it is. Oh, wow. So Kim Kardashian's coming to the defense of her man. To the media trying to demonize my husband, let me say this. Your commentary on Kanye being erratic and his tweets being disturbed is actually scary. So quick to label him as having mental health issues for just being himself when he has always been expressive is not fair. So that's what the energy.
Haven't I always said that family is loyal?
Shauna's a big Kardashian fan. Shauna's a big Kardashian. She's always, she's always woke. Shauna was woke to the KK, the Kim Kardashians. She was woke. She was woke to them. Shauna's loyal too. So you could just tell that the media doesn't know what to do. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? By the way, watch the white people in the media try to whip Kanye with their keyboards. Can we talk about that for a minute? How often do you see me criticize African Americans? Very rarely, right? Because, and I've talked about this before. I believe that fundamentally we need to get out of the way and let other people have these kinds of conversations. So you don't see me jumping in on the racial conversations. And the white liberal media has claimed that you should elevate black voices, right? White liberal media said elevate black voices. And then when Kanye tweets out something like this, they all get their whips like they're plantation owners, slave owners, their keyboard whips. And they want to whip him like they're a sci-fi Black Mirror version of Roots. Actually, this would be a good Black Mirror episode that I just kind of came up with in my head. Is the script for this, if you're a good script writer, write it. Maybe I'll produce it. The script of this would be that the media that show a bunch of journalists watching Roots, and then they go out and then they hunt down people like Kanye, and then they take their keyboards and they like use them like whips. Erratic, crazy, deranged, unhinged. Because that's what we're happening. We're living a Black Mirror version of Roots, where white liberal journalists are just going to try to whip and destroy Kanye because they are slave owners. There's no question that people in the white liberals in the media would own slaves if they could. Democrats were the slave owners. I think a lot of people forget that. Democrats were Robert Byrd, KKK member. This is all just very, basic history that people don't want to learn. So how can you as a white liberal journalist get out your keyboard and try to whip Kanye? Do you want to give him a slave name maybe? Is that what you're after if you're at the Washington Post? You want to put him in his place is what I'm seeing. Right? That's what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a bunch of white liberals in the media trying to put an African-American man in his place. That's what they're trying to do. And that's the rip in the fabric. That is the simulation revealing itself. The simulation is revealing itself as why can they not right? Why can they not do this? Kanye West is going to meet Peter Thiel. So, all these things are happening. So I guess the question is, why do white liberals want to abuse and put African-American men in their place? That would be the top of the conversation. Because you don't see me doing that, right? You don't see me doing that. And I'm supposedly racist this, racist that. But you don't see me attacking, right, independent black. You see me promoting voices. You don't see me attack people because I do believe that we have to just kind of get out of the way and let Kanye and Candace and CJ and Ed and we got to get out of the way and just let them talk. We're never going to be able. I'll tell you a story too. A lot of people don't know this about me, and maybe I'll trigger a lot of people. I don't really care though. Maybe Kanye's courage is contagious, but I do believe in white privilege. I don't believe that it is as strong as the media makes it out to be, but I can tell you some stories. So, hanging out, this is one of the more kind of pivotal stories in my life. I was hanging out with a good friend of mine who, by the way, is a PhD in African American studies, and we were in college together, and we would just we'd go to the gym, we'd work out, we'd just hang out. And one day we were walking in a grocery store, just shopping for post-workout food. If you're a bro, you know that the rules. You got to get your protein and carbs in that post-workout anabolic window to spike your insulin levels to get jacked, right? So we lifted weights, and we were going through a grocery store, so I got like one of those big protein cookies, and I opened it up and I started eating. And my African-American friend, he got it was like ash, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "What are you talking about? I'm eating a cookie. Like, I'm going to pay for it. Like, what are you freaking out?" He's like, "You can't do that." I was like, "What do you mean I can't do that?" He's like, "We're going to get stopped." I was like, "Dude, I do this all the time. Like, I'm uncouth, déclasse, call it what you will." But I'm like, dude, I eat stuff in the store all the time, Never even occurred to me.
He'll literally have like a box full of energy wrappers.
Yeah. Sean will tell you that I walk through this store, eat the energy bars, I pay for them. But my friend, because he was black, that isn't the black experience. That is white privilege. And that's a true story. I have multiple stories like that. Where to him, he thought,
You're talking loud.
okay, to him, he thought that being able to talk loud is white privilege. I talk loud. I'm loud. I'm rambunctious. I wear hooded sweatshirts. I'm a bigger guy. Nobody, crosses the street when they see me. I'm a scary looking guy, if you ask me. I'm a, larger than average fellow. People stop and ask me for directions, actually. So rather than cross the street when they see me, I get stopped for directions all the time. And, so I had these experiences with friends of mine in college that there is a different experience, especially for black men. Another story, this is all true. You can't make up stories like these. They're too good. I'm not that creative. We were in an apartment, again, on college, and I was hanging out with like 3 or 4 black guys. And one of them had like a booty call. I'm not going to go into details. But his like car didn't work right. His car didn't have a way to get there. And I was like, dude, I'll just take my car. I'll loan you my car. The room erupts in laughter. They're like, oh my God, CERN. CERN is what they call me. CERN, what the hell's... Everybody's laughing. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not like I had a Ferrari. I had a, Ford Escort, right? I just had some like crappy, Ford Escort. And they go, this brother cannot just take your car and drive to the house. I'm like, why? They go, he will be stopped. And when they see that the registration and license doesn't match, then he'll go to jail. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just have the cop call me. And to them, that was to them the most absurd thing they'd ever heard in their lives. Like they were just laughing. It was for them more like, I can't believe you're saying this, right? And for me, I was like, what is the problem? Just drive my car, go, have fun, be merry, just bring it back to me in the morning so I can drive to work. It's a crappy Ford Escort. It was like $500 car or something, But their experience is that you get pulled over, which he would have got pulled over, and then the registration and license doesn't match. I'm like, well, just call me, because that's how white people engage with the world and think about the world. So these are all true stories. I have, dozens of them. So there is a bit of a different experience for blacks in America than there is for whites in America. Now, whether that's white privilege or whether that is, and by the way, like I said, I'm not even reading the comments yet. I don't care if people are mad because I'm done pandering to people. What do I need to pander to people for? Low consciousness people who can't be challenged with an idea, right? Based on my own experiences and my observations. What do I care? Oh, I'm going to lose followers because I said, oh, white privilege. Oh my God. Oh, people aren't going to want to. Good. Bye. So there is a bit of a different experience. Now, whether it is, white privilege or whether it's majority privilege or, there's a nuanced conversation to be had. There's definitely a nuanced conversation to be had. But that's why my belief is that for the most part, white people just kind of need to get out of the way. And that's why look what happened. They went after those Hotep guys, right? They, that Vibe, Hotep Jesus went on Fox. And the white liberal media went after him and started whipping him because maybe he made a couple comments that were, I'm not going to defend the comments. They weren't the greatest in the world. But, they weren't the greatest comments in the world. But they definitely were, it was inappropriate. The reaction is inappropriate. So, Hotep Jesus gets on Fox and the white liberal media just blashes out, oh, he's an anti-Semite. He said, why don't you talk to the guy, right? Why don't you just say, hey, are you an anti-Semite, Hotep Jesus? What? No, the first thing they do is they see an African-American black man rise up who's an independent thinker. And why don't they just say, hey, bro, you said these things. I think they're a little dodgy. Do you stand by that? Have a conversation. But no, the first thing they do is the white liberal slave owner media, they take their keyboards like their whips. They want to give every black man in America a kind of slave name. And my belief is I just retweet them and let them kind of figure things out. Because the hell do I have to have the conversation? I've been there. I've lived it. Right? Had black roommates. I know the deal. There are real issues that a lot of people, Republicans, don't want to talk about. Oh, racism doesn't exist in America. Yes, it does. I've had black roommates. It exists. The experience of a black man in America is different than the experience of me. And I know this because I'm a big, scary, gorilla-looking guy. And I just, whatever, dude. I can wear the camo vest. Nobody's thinking anything weird about that. If you acted like I act, I'm loud, rambunctious. The whole thing, you acted like I act in public, and if I was a black man, I would be treated differently. I just would be. And if people can't accept that, then I just don't have time. I don't want to hear about it. And that's what I mean by it's up to the MAGA world to reach out now about these issues. And that's why I've said Kanye is the only person who can bring the races together, because Kanye has reached out in a big way, and everybody wants to use him and manipulate him and everything, which you're going to be really disappointed if you think you're going to manipulate Kanye and Kim Kardashian. Good luck. If you think you're going to use him or ride that wave or ride that dragon, good luck. But what I've said is Kanye has reached out in a big way. It is now up to MAGA land to reach out in a big way. It's now up to say, well, wow, Kanye, this took great courage. And what's an issue that matters to you, and how can we make that happen? There's got to be a big reach. So me, if I mention white privilege a little bit, I know it's going to alienate, half my audience, but I don't care, because cosmically and in terms of the energy, that's what is required of me now. Do you understand? Because I've never talked about white privilege before, and other than to maybe say it doesn't exist, but that isn't necessarily accurate. So the point is that when people step up in a big way, leaders have to step up, and they have to say, you know what, if this person's willing to take this great risk, then our job as leaders is to say, you know what, we're gonna step up in a big way too. That's what's required. And I'm not seeing that happen. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to use Kanye, because these people aren't leaders, right? They aren't leaders. They aren't trying to put the world into a better place. They aren't trying to unify and bring people together. They're just like, oh, Kanye's not a conservative, you idiot, okay? Nobody's conservative is such a, oh my God, don't call me a conservative. Don't call me a Republican. Kanye's not a conservative. He's a free thinker, and he's transgressive, and he wants to make a big impact on society. And the way to make a big impact on society is you have to reach across now. Because the whole fighting, killing each other, that's the energy of that has shifted. The alt-right and Antifa fighting each other in the streets, that was a phase of energy, and that energy is now dissipated. There's still little skirmishes, and Antifa, a bunch of them are getting arrested now. They got arrested in Michigan, facing felonies. The guy in New York who attacked a Jewish Trump supporter actually is going on trial in May in New York, so I might fly out and cover that trial. So he's a vicious anti-Semite, Nazi Antifa member who tried to murder a Jewish Trump supporter outside of an event in New York. And multiple Antifa people got arrested under the KKK law, the anti-KKK law in Georgia. So the energy of people in the streets fighting each other, that is over. That energy is over. The new energy now is love and unification. The new energy is, hey, here's the thing is, let's just say you don't believe white privilege is real. Is it going to kill you? What do you lose if you give up a little ground on that when people like Kanye are making a big move? What is it? Is that going to kill you to just say, well, maybe I don't fully agree with this idea, but you know what? If other people are willing to be leaders and take a massive step into this, then maybe I will too. And then maybe I'll step in. That's how you have to think like a leader. That's dragon energy, leadership. Do you control dragons? Nobody controls a dragon. That's what people don't understand what dragon energy is. Dragon energy is, well, even Khaleesi doesn't fully control the dragons, right? So that's what people are missing, is that the dragon energy is just free thinking, not going to be controlled, not going to let anybody, tell them what to do. That's the energy. Let's take some calls. If you want to give me a call here, let's have a little chat. You can tell me what you think about this picture. By the way, I love how people are being like, oh, you're the Kanye band. I told people Kanye was going to be a historical figure years ago. That's why I always laugh when people, oh, Cernovich, Kanye. There is no Kanye bandwagon. I told people years ago, pay attention to Kanye. And then as usual, people attack me. So if you want to give me a call, so if you want to go ahead and give me a call, you can. We'll just talk a little bit, you know. The number is 866-438-1487. Yeah, I just got a text. And just like that, the golden age is upon us, right? And just like that, this is a historic moment. This is certainly a historic moment. No question. No question. So hold on, let me give you the phone number. 866-438-1487. So I get a lot of ignorant things. Somebody goes, white privilege exists until you grow up being the only white guy around all blacks. Well, that's actually tribal politics. That's just the way it is. So if you're black and you grew up around all Mexicans and you're it's just people are tribal. And he goes, then you learn they can do things white cannot, but whites can eat an energy bar, and that's white privilege, LOL. So this is a stupid person. I'm going to block him because he actually missed the point of the story. The point of the story is that I just take it for granted I'm going to walk through a store and not be hassled. Right? That people just take that for granted. And if you're a black man, you just don't take that for granted. Now, you can argue, well, there, crime rates and everything. Again, there's a conversation to be had. But if you can't start from the proposition that me as a, bigger sized white guy is going to be treated differently just in my day-to-day interactions with the world than I would be if I were black, then there's nothing for us to talk about anymore. You have to go somewhere else because that's not my message. My message is unity, unifying people, tapping into more positive energy, being willing to concede ground as others take big moves and concede ground. So yeah, if you just want to, be angry or whatever, then I'm not the right place for you anymore. Because again, if you want to say crime rates are different, we all know this, okay? This is not you're not telling me anything interesting. The point is you still have to treat people with respect. That's the point people are missing. You still have to treat people with respect. And a lot of black men in society are just not treated with respect. So if you're not willing, again, to just concede that one point, then you're not willing to have a conversation. And right now we're entering the age of the golden era, the age of conversation, where people are like, you know what, Cernovich, I actually think you're really wrong about that. But you know what? I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to have a conversation, and I'm tired of everybody screaming at each other. And that's what I want to be part of a conversation too. See? That's what I mean. The age of conversation is the ability to just say, you know what, I think you're actually just really wrong. You're just full of it. But you know what? I'm glad we're talking. I'm glad we're having a conversation. That's what I mean by the era we're entering, the conversational era, where it's okay to disagree. And it's okay to just say, God, I really think that's a dumb idea, but you know what? We need to talk more. That's the phase I'm heading into, the unification. And if you don't like it, like I said, there's big internet. I don't beg people to watch me. Pompano, Florida, how you doing? Pompano?
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Just one thing first. I'd just like to say that regarding to the how blacks are treated issue in America. Firstly, I'm black, and I've never been treated poorly. In fact, I think that people have treated me very well here. Just to go on to the second point is that what do you think of the fact that Shania Twain folded to media pressure very easily, but someone like Kanye West is not folding, and he doesn't appear to be folding whatsoever? That's it.
Yeah, well, Kanye, because he has the different kind of energy that Shania Twain doesn't have. There are a few people who are architects of reality. Trump is one, Kanye is another, Kim Kardashian is another. There are a few people who they construct the reality. Arnold Schwarzenegger, before he became this boring, doofus. I don't know what Schwarzenegger's doing, but a young Arnold Schwarzenegger. There are certain people who create reality, and you either have it and you've worked on it or you don't. Shania Twain doesn't. So what Shania Twain did is what everyone with a publicist would do. oh my God, you said this thing, you're going to offend people, they're not going to buy your tickets, you better run and hide, you better apologize. That's what every publicist will tell you to do. And that's why if you have a publicist and you're a celebrity, you're actually getting bad advice. The way you do it is the way Kanye is doing it, which is double down, triple down. Here's me in a MAGA hat. Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do? And, ride that sort of energy wave. But Kanye is unique. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just one thing I just like to say that do you think that because Kanye has come out and shown his not support but shown his free thinking nature that more celebrities are going to start coming out and be more emboldened?
Well, I mean, yeah, the picture we're looking at, those are a couple media executives. So the actual, if you look at it, it's not just Kanye. It's not just Kanye in a MAGA hat. It's actually a couple of media executives. So that's the thing is everybody right now is kind of focused on Kanye because he is who he is. But there are two other people, I believe. There are two other people in there, music people. So they're saying like, look, man, there's the underground, and I've talked about the underground before, the underground of people who they don't even support Trump necessarily. They're just really tired of the thought prison, the mental prison, the idea that you can't have a conversation. Just like you. I mean, you called me right away and you said, hey, actually I'm a black guy in America and I think you're wrong. And, that's cool. That's what I mean. That's what we need is for people to just say, actually, I think you're wrong. And, here's why you're wrong, or here's why you can improve. That's what MAGA really is. MAGA was never just about Trump. MAGA was just about, well, we can't talk about anything. So then people like me would just say the most shocking and outrageous things, because what I was doing is I told people at the time, I was just breaking down the barriers. So then other people could have normal conversations. So me, I was just like, let's just say insane things because you can't say anything. And then that destroyed barriers and it reset the boundary lines. And now sane people are able to have, real conversations. So thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you for the call, my friend. Downey, California. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Doing well.
Okay, so my question was this. You're a big guy on movements. I love reading when you talk about your movements, the energy. And when you first started talking about Trump, you were talking about the whole MAGA movement, how it's bigger than him. If we're talking about, possibly a Kanye presidency, where is his movement or energy going to take us?
That's the thing. I don't know. It's still too new. So much can happen. I mean, if you think about it, like that's what I've been telling people, and I began the Periscope with this. You just have to feel the energy, because already we're trying to figure out, well, what's next? Because that's like the human impulse. What's next? Where are we going next? The answer is nobody knows. I mean, would anybody have predicted that in 2018 Kanye West would post a selfie of himself in a Trump hat with two music executives? Would anybody have predicted that? Right? So no, nobody.
Possibly not.
Well, it could have, low probability, but what is happening today is truly a historic day. So because of that, the answer is we don't know. I mean, we don't know 2024. We don't know tomorrow, at 2000 hours, 24 minutes, we don't even know yet. So we just have to kind of feel the energy, and the answers will be revealed in due time.
When you were talking about Kanye, because I know he had met with Trump in the Trump Tower, then it almost feels like he just fell off and then he just like reappeared again. What was going on there? Why did he just disappear? And then all of a sudden, look, guys, I'm all about the energy movement. It's all about love. I like Trump. I don't support everything he says, but I do respect the guy.
Well, he had to recharge his energy. And yeah, so he had, because if you're a very empathetic, very energetic person, then you need to recharge. And that's where he went. He just went and he had to just recharge his creative energy. And then he came back with like a dragon, right? He came back like a dragon. So yeah, that's what happened there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't know.
I definitely appreciate you taking my call, and I'm a big supporter of you, and I don't care. You started on Danger and Play, but I love your movement. I love your growth. I love how you're changing. I absolutely love it, and I encourage it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you like a lot of people understood what we were really doing, which most people didn't understand. Most people didn't really see it, but now people are kind of understanding that we were just breaking down the old barriers, the old modes of thoughts. And now that we've broken them down, people like Kanye and others can come in and build even greater structures now. Because now we're in a rebuilding phase. We were, breaking down the old mold of thoughts, and now we want to rebuild. Thank you very much. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, how you doing?
Hey, no, I just want to talk about, people don't realize that Kanye has, people just think he's kind of some rapper and all that, and we can see that he's an excellent, he's very woke, if you will. But people think oh, he can never be president, he can never run things. I just want to say people don't realize his work ethic. You should look up these videos of him and people describing his work ethic and how he builds a team and how he does all these things. RZA, which was he was kind of lead rapper of Wu-Tang Clan, talked about it. There's a video of him talking about Kanye's work ethic. Like Trump, he really only sleeps 3 hours a night. He does an incredible. I don't know. It's just amazing what was described. I think people should realize that more. But
yeah. Well, I mean, because he's a visionary, people aren't going to, because here's the way to understand Kanye. I always tell people is if people who like me, the way I explain to people is I go, do you like me? Do you think I'm doing good work? People go, well, yeah, of course. What a dumb question. And I said, okay, now read the articles about me. And people go, well, yeah, I mean, those articles about you are fake. They don't understand what you're doing. And then that's my wedge where I said, okay, so can you make room for the possibility that if there are tens of millions of people in America who don't understand me, even though you clearly do understand me, perhaps you just don't fully understand Kanye yet. And then people say, yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about it. And that's where it is with Kanye. The people who are really out, visionaries, out riding dragons, people don't always understand what they're doing right away. But it'll be revealed with Kanye just like it was revealed with Trump. People will see. But this is more another message from the simulation too. I think people are missing. Kanye is watching videos on the singularity, talking about decentralization, and now suddenly, messages from the simulation, man, postcards from the simulation.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thanks, man. Good talking to you. Roanoke, Virginia, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. I was just wondering what you think we need to do as a MAGA community to reach out after this and help bring people together. You think Trump's going to reach out in a meaningful way and do what needs to be done?
I hope so. What I would like to see from prominent people is rather than try to use Kanye or, appropriate him, why don't you just say, wow, I'm welcome to the party. What's on your mind? What are some conversations we can have that are productive, that aren't toxic? What are some ways that we can concede some points here and there in order to have a much bigger conversation, right? What can we do as everybody listening as a leader? What can we do as leaders to tone down the rhetoric, to find common ground, to agree to disagree on issues and agree to agree on other ones? And the only way to do that is through conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So it's up to everybody to be a leader. Thank you for the call, my friend. All right, I had a few people. I saw that you were online and then you got tired of waiting. So you can call me back, 866-438-1487. The number is 866-438-1487. You can go ahead and give me a call. Let me know what you think. Hold on, what do we got here? All right. 866-438-1487. Call me up. Talk about Kanye, the energy of the universe, how it's changing, the shifts that you're feeling, the vibe. You know, just call. Just keep it positive. I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments. So Trump listens to Kanye music when he tweets, you know, maybe. Kanye is putting out a album with Kid Cudi. Cudi has already been through what Kanye is going through. Well, I'm old. I don't know who Kid Cudi is, but sounds good. I'll listen. Mike is a shepherd, not a sheep. You're right. Respectful conversations. Exactly. Wish we could have a televised town hall with Kanye and the president. I would love that too. Kanye is an ASS. Well, that's a very nasty thing, and we don't really want that. But Kelly, I know that you've been around a while, and you don't mean that. You're just expressing yourself. But I would rather have you people not be negative and insulting here. I would rather you just be positive. So if I recognize your comments from, you know, years ago, or your avatars or AVIs, then that's fine. But if you're a new person and you're coming and hating on Kanye, we're just not going to allow Kanye hate. The whole media is going after him. The entire media is fantasizing about whipping him to death with their keyboard whips. So why would you add on to that? Why would you as a MAGA person want to pick up the whip held by the Washington Post? Right? Why would you want that? Why would you want to join the whips? Right? How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? Everybody's going after him, and that's what you want to do. You want to join that? That's low consciousness, you see? That is telling me that you're just a low consciousness thinker and you're just not ready for the Cernovich message. Fayetteville, North Carolina, how you doing?
What's up, Mike? Hey, I got a quick question for you. Do you think that with the media coverage that Kanye West is getting right now, do you think with other people seeing that, hey, Kanye West comes out, he puts the MAGA hat on, and 2 days later, 3 days later, he's still there. He's still living. Do you think this is going to make other celebrities go, well, I mean, he did it, and I guess I can do it too?
Well, yeah, courage is contagious. We are in a hive mind. So a lot of the concepts that I built on, and that is sort of the issue with being a Cernovich reader, is I'm not as careful and analytical as, like, say, someone like Scott Adams is. But you'll notice I've talked about The Global Brain by Howard Bloom, the collective consciousness, how we're nodes and we're receiving input from other parts of the nodes. So you will see an increase in courage, moral courage. And I think you're going to see, I think the media, if they go after Kanye hard here, they're making a really, I view that almost as like the last stand of the fake news media. If they really, because now they're trivializing mental illness. It's like, wait a minute, you disagree with somebody, so now you must be mentally ill. The media is calling essentially every Trump supporter mentally ill. That is not a very smart thing to do. So if I were the media, I would be careful with this. I would definitely be careful with this because more people are going to come out for the right of Kanye and free speech and everything. So I definitely think more people courage is contagious. More people are going to step up, man. And MAGA people too. You know, MAGA people got to talk about issues that maybe we don't want to talk about. I think Colin Kaepernick should be back in the NFL. That's if I were playing chess with the energy of the universe, I would say that I would like to see Trump tweet out It's time for Colin Kaepernick, if he's talented enough to play for the NFL. Why? Because you do what seems crazy. And that's a sign of reconciliation. Everybody deserves redemption. And that we need big moves like that right now to keep the conversation going. Big moves that disrupt normal modes of thought. So I would like to see MAGA people just say, you know what, the Colin Kaepernick thing was like fun. You know, the NFL really had lost its way. ESPN lost its way. You know, we proved our point. We proved that we can make free speech difficult for the left, just like they've made it difficult for us. But you know what? You know, we're going to look the other way this next time. That's what I would like to see. I don't think it'll happen. I'm just saying that is what I personally would endorse as a way to keep the conversation going.
All right. Thanks for your take, Mike. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. Apollo, Texas, how you doing?
Hey, Mike. I was just thinking, like, I saw that picture up there, and I'm just thinking, like, you know, Kanye could walk up to the, like, it doesn't matter what party, but, like, it could be, like, playing Stronger, like, just while, like, right before, you know, he gives his presidential nomination speech for whatever party he would ever walk for. After I saw that, I'd be like, I just kind of seeing, like, it doesn't matter who, but he's going to open up so many minds. It's like, I mean, like, yeah, we have a lot of people on the side, like, oh, don't want to believe it or whatever. They're too close-minded. But, I mean, what do we got to lose? Because the people that, if we don't start opening up more minds, we're just going to circle down into some circle of despair kind of thing. It's just, we need to open up our minds, and who better than Kanye to do it? I mean, so my feeling on all this.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Today was a major historical day, and it's up to everybody to step up. That's the whole point that I've always tried to communicate is the reason people see me on the front lines all the time isn't because I like doing that. You can talk to people who've known me before I became, you know, famous. I'm a very private person. I'm actually quite shy in social interactions. When, you know, people even noticed when I did like a Night for Freedom, they were like, why didn't you give a speech? It's like, I don't want to be on panels. I don't want to give speeches. I only go to the forefront to show people as a leader that this is what everybody needs to do. But, you know, talk to Sean or anybody. I'm just a shy guy. I like to sit around, read books, you know, write things. And I don't want to be the public face. And that's what Kanye is doing now is he's just showing leadership. And leadership is contagious. People are part of a hive mind, and people will feel excited. And then people will be willing to try to have conversations, to try to find solutions. That's the whole point that that we're getting at, and that's leadership. So Kanye showed leadership, courage, and it's now up to other people to show leadership and courage, and it's up to other people to say, okay, if you're willing to meet us here, we're willing to meet you on issues that matter. Otherwise, the moment will dissipate. People will be divided and fighting each other again, and it's up to people who don't want to live in a country like that. I don't want to live in a country where Antifa and the alt-right are waging war in the streets, right? I don't want to live in a country where you're a Jewish Trump supporter and you leave a party hosted by Mike Cernovich and a neo-Nazi Antifa member rushes you, chokes you, tries to murder you. That's where we're headed, is tribal warfare in the streets. If that isn't what you want, then we have to find ways to change that. And one way to change it is to say, okay, you know, whatever. What issue is big to you, Kanye? And then you got to give them that. You got to give people that. That's negotiation. Trump understands it, of course, better than me or anybody else. So Trump understands the art of the deal. So I would expect something really big from Trump, specifically like an issue maybe traditionally thought of as being a black issue or an African-American issue. I would expect something really big coming from Trump soon because he knows there's a deal to be made. There's a huge deal to be made, maybe a bigger deal than anybody else ever could have imagined, and he's going to want to make that deal. Thank you for your call. Fair Lawn, New Jersey, how you doing?
Hi, Mike. My call's about, you know, someone as famous and world known as Kanye doing this, but in everyone's really difficult and challenging to go out of the boundaries and maybe put forth a link to something or an email linking a post of yours or somebody else's. It takes kind of courage to just be willing to get the kind of pushback from people, so then you're left to debate or not, or just being left out all of a sudden of invites to dinners. That type of courage is required of all of us, and I find it personally can be very challenging to not let the ego, the insecurities, the fear jump in ahead of me and just kind of get kind of put off by it and either just pull back and kind of not hang out with certain people anymore, rather than trying, like you're saying, to open the conversation and be willing to sit face to face and not get offended. That's, I find, a difficult thing to do, is not get offended, or they not get offended. How to keep that dialogue going without it becoming such a visceral, ego-driven reaction from either of us.
Yeah, I think the key is that if you are a MAGA person, even though it's not really fair, you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the leader. If you look at me in day-to-day life, I'm hyper polite. I always tip well. Nobody's ever going to be able to post a receipt where Mike Cernovich slipped him on a tip or anything like that. We have to be excessively generous of heart in a way that maybe isn't fair, but fair doesn't really have anything to do with life. And that's the way I strive for, especially in real life. And I'll be honest, a lot of people, myself included, haven't made it easy to publicly support me due to the nature of, because what we were doing, and more people are waking up and understand it. But a lot of people thought that what we said we were really meaning, when instead we were just transgressing to tear down these far left-wing establishments to make room for other people. So it's my job, Milo's job, Trump's job, is everybody's job as a leader to say, you know what we were doing at the time was for a specific purpose, but that isn't really what it was about. It was about something bigger. And you can know that you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, oh my God, I can't believe what Cernovich did. You know that. So it isn't your fault. It's our fault as leaders. And that includes me and other people, to make it so that it's easy to stand with us, to make it so that people understand what we're really about. And we're about a year or two away from that. And that's why, again, people go, oh, Cernovich, you're trying to whitewash. I'm not trying to whitewash anything, right? I'm just letting people know that we're creating a new story together in the future, and we want to make it so that people know, hey, we're just all regular people trying to make a better country, and we all have our own ways. So the advice to you is, one, you definitely do have to be the bigger person in this. You do. That's just the nature of the world we live in, and you need to expect your leaders, the movement leaders, to act like leaders and to not say or do anything going forward that'll embarrass you. And that's a contract between leaders and everyone else, is that like we're never going to do anything in the future that you'll ever be ashamed of being a part of. And that's how I live my life every day. That's how everybody who's a movement leader has to live their life. And that's how we create a new future together. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Yeah, there really is again, we're all in a historical time, so people have to step up in a historical manner. And it's a beautiful time. I mean, it really is a great time. Great time to be alive. By the way, I forgot to plug myself. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And if you are on Periscope, tap the screen a few times. And if you are on Facebook, like the video, share the video, all the video, do the whole thing. I'm going to have another Periscope. This was just about the Dragon Energy and Kanye, but I'm going to have a pretty cool thing I'm going to show you very soon. So stay tuned. So be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and like on Facebook and everything, because you're going to want to watch the next video.